If you want to try to make it on the internet, try to do something that's genuine, that you find fun, and go from there. Don't lie, don't make up, don't try to feed off hate or to feed off opinions that other people are spewing in order to get big. Because if you're genuine and you blow up, you know what happens? 90% of the time you're drama free. It's like my doctor being like, very chill, big dick, large, amazing man. Just because it's true does not mean he should be writing it on paper, because it has nothing to do with your diagnosis. Alright, welcome back everybody. If you're new to my channel, I am a React content creator that likes to react to really anything I find interesting. So if you like basketball, if you like politics, if you like drama, if you like nonsense, I'm the guy for you. I also like to go stream at least 4 days a week. So if you can catch me on the stream, please do so. This is a stream segment, okay? So you're probably seeing it a couple days after the fact. But nonetheless, let's get this shit started. Today we're going to be reacting to what happened to the TikToker who faked Tourette's for clout by Internet Anarchist. So without further ado, guys, let's get started.
Is it possible for a single TikToker to tarnish how people view an entire neurological disorder? Well, if that TikToker is Ticks and Roses, then sadly...
What'd he say? Dicks and Roses?
If that TikToker is Ticks and Roses, then...
Oh, Ticks and Roses. My bad. My bad. Let's keep going.
Sadly, yes. They started as a wholesome disability awareness influencer sharing their daily life with Tourette's syndrome.
Oh, okay, I know what we're already getting into. I saw like one video of her like completely faking Tourette's is what I was told. Her acting like she was having it while she was cooking and saying like ridiculous shit. But we'll see. We're gonna get into let's
to end up getting raked over the coals at the hands of their own followers, when one viral video completely exposed them for being a total fraud. Someone who was faking their entire disorder just for TikTok clout. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist.
People will do a lot of stuff for clout. They won't just fake a disorder. They'll throw people under the bus. They'll make shit up. They'll cause tension, drama, you know, whatever they can do to get a few clicks. People will do a lot for attention. That's why when you come to my shit, I am small time, right? I don't think I'm ever going to blow up. I want to make that clear, okay? With a lot of people that love to throw that insult sometimes in the comment sections of my videos, especially the political ones, or, funny enough, the LeBron ones, for sure, as they love to say, oh, you're 4 viewers, you're 4 viewers, you're 4 viewers. Bro, you say that to me like it's an insult. I'm happy if I have 4 viewers on my video. I'm happy if I have 4 people subscribe to me. If you guys go back to my first like video, I know I got like 300. One thing I said, and I made very clear, is that I don't think I'm gonna get 50 subscribers, but I'm doing this because I like to talk. I like to yap, and if something does come out of it, that's great. But if nothing comes out of it, that's fine. But the one thing I do know, and I said this since day one, is I'm gonna be genuine. I'm just gonna be myself. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. So I understand I could sell my soul for $1. And by selling my soul, I mean we can get political with it. If I said today, like if I just made a video about how the left is terrible, racism doesn't exist, black people bring it all on themselves. Like if I made videos like that, I'd blow up like tomorrow. Tomorrow, right? You guys see like the negative attention I get from calling out videos like that. Imagine the positive reinforcement. All those 23 comments I got on one of my political videos, okay, about people calling me dumb, stupid, even though my average view duration for that video was 2 minutes. So that means they didn't even watch 90% of it to even get a good understanding of my opinion. All of those videos with people commenting like 20, 30, 40 times, those could be 20, 30, 40 subscribers off the bat. One video of all haters, but they would be lovers because now I'm telling them things they love. Or the LeBron videos. We can go away from politics. Constant people telling me, I don't know basketball. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm stupid. Those could all be subscribers. Why? Because people love to feed on the hate. They don't care about analysts. They don't care about stats. They don't care about people being genuine, really. Because genuinity is not what gives you big bucks. It's being fake. It's the hate, and it's just, you know, the exposure of just doing something kind of wild and wacky. That's what it is. That's what it is. And if you can fake something and make it, people will subscribe to you. But if you get caught for it, people are going to rake you over the coals for it. But let's keep going. Yeah, people will do anything for clout. It's just sad. But it's not going to be me. Because I'm not looking for clout. I do this because it's fun to me. And maybe something happens. But if it doesn't, I know I was always true.
I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be diving into the satisfying and well-deserved downfall of Ticks and Roses, how they profited off the sympathy of their own followers through a bogus diagnosis, where they ended up after the dust settled, and the real-life consequences others with the same disorder had to face because of their vile actions. At a first glance, Ticks and Roses, created by Emerald Rose, came across as fairly innocent. The account was focused around helping Emerald share the struggles they face on a day-to-day basis, living with Tourette's syndrome. Emerald claimed that they had been diagnosed with Tourette's at a very young age.
So for me, my tics started when I was probably around 6 or 7.
And had created the Ticks and Roses account to create awareness for the disorder, break any harmful stereotypes, and show people that they weren't alone. The content in these early days also echoed this sentiment, with Emerald showing all the various tics they had to contend with.
Okay. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. That genuinely feels like fake to me. But maybe I'm biased because I'm walking in knowing it's fake. So I'm trying to see, because maybe she was able to get away with it because people can't really point out that it's fake. Interesting. I don't know.
They completed various tasks while ticking. And how embarrassing it felt to tick in public.
That is interesting, because ticks, right? They're probably going to come and go, so you probably wouldn't know when your ticks are about to hit. So it's weird that you're always like setting up your camera in this perfect way for people to be ready to see you, I guess, or to upload it. And you guys can say, well, she can edit it and shit. It's like, well, clearly she's walking in a store. Unless you're going to say she was walking in a store for hours and then caught a tick. Or unless she started recording because she thought she was about to get a tick, which I don't know how she would know that. I don't know. I don't know enough about Tourette's to speak too much on that. I'm not going to act ignorant and talk about something I don't know. But one thing I will say is that it's weird how you're like perfectly catching it all on camera. That's probably how she got caught. If I'm not mistaken, we'll see. It's probably how she got her ass caught. It's because she's always getting it on camera. That's a bit weird. I don't get why someone would even fake it. The reason why people fake shit like this is because fame is a drug to people, right? Having a bunch of people telling you you're right, it feels good. Having a bunch of people telling you you're a dumbass piece of shit, you don't know what you're talking about, doesn't feel good. Now, granted, I don't give a fuck about what people say on the internet. That's the reason you guys can go to my video. Well, you can't see this, so I'll show you. We'll go to my YouTube studio right now, and I'll show you, because you're probably not going to be able to see it. That's why if I go to my content, right, and I have 15 dislikes. Well, I got 8 likes. That's not bad. I got 15 dislikes on this video. I got a bunch of comments of people telling me I'm dumb, I'm stupid, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. The way I see it is I've been uploading shit for a long time. And I do it because I like to do it. And I want to be genuine with it. But when it comes to people like this, the reason they would fake it is because they want validation from a crowd. Whether it's driving off hate or it's driving off faking a disorder, if they can get validation from a crowd, that's all that matters. And I feel like that's truly what's brain rotted with the internet today. Okay? The reason I want to do debate so bad, bro, the reason I'm trying to set up my TikTok studio. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to figure out a way to get my TikTok on here while I stream to you guys and create this type of content so I can upload debates on YouTube. The reason I want to do this so fucking bad, bro, is because I feel 90% of people, they don't have an opinion because they looked into it and feel strongly about their opinion. They have an opinion because someone gave it to them. They have nothing on that except emotions. They have no thinking of themselves. And I truly feel if I'm able to like debate some of these people, my goal is not to make them look dumb. It's to show them that they're feeding into this bullshit. That they truly are just listening to something that sounds good to them and wrapping it up in a bow and saying that's a fact. You know? When it comes to this content game, I don't think the truth really matters. When it comes to politics, sports, faking shit, all that matters is, can you get a group of people to side with you and agree with you? And as long as you got your little group, you're good. Shit's kind of sad, bro. But like I said, that's why I'm always going to be fucking genuine with this shit. I'm never going to feed into that. I don't feed into audience capture, okay? If I did, man, I'd be big. I'd be big. I'd be as big as your mom tells me. I'm big. Anyway, I fucked that up. Let's keep going.
Stealing.
It wasn't long before the channel found its audience, and by mid-2021, Tix and Roses amassed over 530,000 followers, cementing Emerald as an icon in the disability awareness community on the platform. Emerald used this newfound popularity to launch a merch line related to their disability, all in an effort to create even more awareness for Tourette's. To add to that, they also started promoting their other account on TikTok, Stardust Page and Priory, which corresponded to their pagan yarn dyeing business, effectively turning many of their fans into paying customers. Things were going incredibly well for Emerald. However, as they continued posting new content on Tix and Roses, the followers who'd been watching their content for real Tourette's awareness started noticing something odd about their videos.
I'm gonna see if I can catch this tick. It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Put simply, many of Emerald's videos felt fake, or at least highly exaggerated. As the suspicions grew stronger, these viewers started looking into older Tix and Roses videos as well, and even created an entire subreddit to uncover the truth on May 3rd, 2021. Together, they scoured through all of her past videos until finally accumulating enough evidence to expose Emerald as a fraud in front of their followers, eventually forcing them to delete the Tix and Roses account entirely. However,
see, that's another thing that's fucking wild about the internet, bro. That's why it's easy for me to be genuine, because it's hard to make an expose video on me about me changing my opinion or lying about shit, because I'm always just telling you how I feel. I'm telling you if I'm wrong, and I'm being honest from the jump. People online have a crazy amount of time. I don't know if it's because they got tech jobs. I don't know if it's because they got no job. But people online will sit there and tell you shit that about you that you didn't know about you. They'll say, oh, do you remember your cousin Maribel? Okay, that you guys went to school in the 3rd grade together and she pulled your pants down? It's like, mother, what? I don't even remember that. But they get this information, bro. The internet is crazy. So if you're gonna be online, just remember, people are bored and they have nothing else to do besides go, you know what, I want to know everything about this person now, and I'm gonna do any means to find this information. So be careful, okay? That's why I'm saying, when it comes to this internet shit, I'm always just gonna be me, okay? This shit is crazy. They sat there for fucking days to just put a list on her. Like, all right, you were lying here, 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 and here. It's like, damn, okay.
While that did stop them from generating any more clout from their fake Tourette's diagnosis for the time being, there was nothing stopping them from taking a brief hiatus and coming back with a brand new persona, just like several other cancelled content creators have tried in the past, especially since the r/Tix and Roses subreddit was only made up of 2.6k members at the time. Fortunately, before that could happen, the situation caught the attention of Sunny V2, who would end up putting the final nail in the coffin that was Emerald's TikTok career by posting a video on February 10th, 2022 titled "The Scumbag TikToker Who Faked Tourette's for Clout," where he would go on to double down on the subreddit's efforts and completely expose Emerald as a fraud for the second time, but this time in front of a much larger audience, since the video ended up going mega viral, amassing 16 million views, eventually turning every single one of Emerald's followers and the entire online community against them. He called her out for 3 main things: their long history of faking Tourette's for clout, fabricating a doctor's report to boost the legitimacy of their claim, and even getting called a liar by their own family, using the evidence that had already been collected by the original source, the r/Tix and Roses subreddit, who were the first to point out how fake and exaggerated Emerald's tics looked, specifically how their tics seemed to be too well timed according to the context of the situation to be random.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Yeah, see, if you want to try to make it on the internet, try to do something that's genuine that you find fun and go from there. Don't lie. Don't make shit up. Don't try to feed off hate or to feed off opinions that other people are spewing in order to get big. Because if you're genuine and you blow up, you know what happens? 90% of the time, you're drama free. But if you're ungenuine, okay, and you decide to blow up by faking shit, lying, or using hate, it's just going to be constant drama and dread. Don't do it. Like, I will never understand it. I understand the money. I like money. I'm big on money. But I will never understand how it outweighs the headaches, bro. It just, I feel like it doesn't. You know? Like, she probably had to deal with a lot of bullshit, a lot of hate. She probably got a lot of hate comments. She probably got a lot of hate messages. Lost a large amount of her income. Like, bro, if you're gonna fake it, this is what I'll also add to that little caveat. If you're gonna be a snake oil salesman, make sure your bank account is full when you run out of the product. You understand that, right? Like the term snake oil salesman, like they made a lot of money. But the reason that they had a lot of money is because they were smart with their money. You get that, right? They didn't do the shit where it's like they're going to constantly sell a product and then keep thinking they can sell that product 5 years down the line. They're snake oil salesmen. They know they're probably going to have to move to a different town and try it there. But in that meantime, there's no guarantee it's going to sell. So they're going to make sure their money is stacked up. And then they're going to try to do it again in another town. But at least they got their money ready to go. I'm not telling you to con nobody. That is not what you should be getting out of this message. I'm just saying, when it comes to her, you should know that the writing's on the wall, okay? There's people with this shit. There's people with Tourettes that know it way more than me. There's people who study this shit. It's the internet, bro. There's a lot of people that don't know anything that will claim they do and give you comments, but there's a lot of people that do know shit. And all it takes is that one person. Because you can have 100 people that think they know something, but they don't. But all you need is that one person that actually knows something to call your ass out on it, and your shit starts to crumble. So you gotta be careful, bro. So yeah, don't scam. But if you're gonna scam, get your money and get out. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you decided to sit in the casino and now you're bankrupt. It's on you, buddy.
Wake up! Wake up!
As if they'd been playing up their condition for the camera in a carefully controlled performance, especially considering how often they'd post between ticks and reacted to their own ticks like they'd been expecting them.
Oh god! Moving on. Send me to Canada!
Send me to Canada. Is that... is that even... Would that even be a tick? I'm sorry, like I said, I'm not big on this, but that... Okay. Again, I feel like you're pushing your luck. You're pushing your luck. You're not even a snake oil salesman at this point. You're just an empty bottle snake oil salesman. That's kind of crazy. You're pushing your luck with people trying to call you out for being fake, because that's a wild tick to have there.
I'll get her a new one. Wow! 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 Eat the burrito. No. One for you!
Like in this video, for example, where they're driving while ticking constantly, but are somehow able to maintain complete control over their vehicle the entire time, with several Redditors pointing out how a person with such severe tics shouldn't be driving, let alone filming themselves, with comments that read, "Oh, I'm having a severe tic attack while driving, better get my phone out," and "Damn, I only experience moderate physical tics, but I'm not allowed to drive or be in the passenger seat since I tend to accidentally hit the driver. Sucks that she's spreading lies about this."
Yeah, I know nothing about ticks and shit, but even I can sit there and go, listen, bro, if you are someone that has these spasms when you're driving, you probably shouldn't be driving. I remember I was coming home from the gym, and I caught a Charlie horse in my right leg, which obviously would be the driver pedal and the brake. And I had to, like, stretch my leg out to go, like, in between the driver's pedal and the brake, because I could not, like, I knew if I had my leg on the driver's pedal, it was just going to be fucking pedaled to the floor. So I had to move it there and try to work out this cramp. I couldn't even try to pull over. I just had to slowly decelerate, you know? And I was lucky I was on the highway when this was happening, okay? The reason I say I'm lucky, because if I was on, like, a town road or some shit, if I was going too fast, because the way the town roads work, I guess we can pull out Sketchpad really quickly to tell my little story, okay? The way the town roads work, right? You guys know with highways and shit, it's just a straight fucking shit, about 70 miles per hour, maybe 60, 50, 80, depending where you're at, but 70. But it's straight, right? So I can decelerate a little bit, try to work out that cramp, or I can even put it on cruise control. I probably should have done that. It was late at night, so I was fine. But I can decelerate a little bit and be fine, especially since I was going 80. It's going to take a minute before I get too low of a speed. But I was able to push, I think I dropped down to like 50 and I was able to put my leg back on the pedal. But if I was on like a town road, there's not a lot of distance, bro. You can be going 45 and then right here it'd be like 20 or 30. Like you ain't got a lot of time. It could be 20 here and like 45 here. So I would need to decelerate fast. But like I said, I couldn't press the brake because I probably would have just pounded it, and I couldn't press the pedal because I probably would have just floored it. Or even worse, it could be a curve and it's like, hey, you gotta go like 15. So I got lucky here. And that's me catching a Charlie horse. So I couldn't even imagine if you had Tourette's. Like, if me catching a Charlie horse in my leg could be an issue for me driving, I don't know how in your mind you don't think having Tourette's is probably way worse and probably going to be a huge issue for you driving, especially if they're physical tics that will cause you to lose control of your vehicle. And you want people to believe that not only did you hold control of the vehicle, but you were able to record it beforehand. Okay.
Or another video where they're essentially making fun of the entire disorder by narrating nursery rhymes while having very context-specific tics, which seem more like the punchline to a joke than a random occurrence.
5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell down. He's dead now. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. And stole his cock.
Prompting Redditors to point out how no one with actual Tourette's would act this way, with many commenting, "I love how conveniently the tics always seem to demonstrate themselves on cue/camera, and interesting how our tics relate and line up perfectly with the rhymes." However, this was only the tip of the iceberg, because as the subreddit continued unearthing TikToks in which they blatantly exaggerate their own tics, they started doing a deep dive on Emerald themselves, trying to discover any past video that could conclusively prove that they were lying about having Tourette's entirely, and soon enough, their search started producing results. They first found a 1 minute 54 seconds video on Emerald's business Facebook page for Stardust Fiber Studio, where they speak throughout the video without ticking even once.
We are wrapping up with planting all of the little seedlings now. He's finishing up with the broccoli right now.
However, since the camera was never facing them, there was no way to prove they weren't ticking at all during the video. On top of that, as Sunny explained it, Emerald themselves came forward on TikTok to dispel any rumors, by claiming that they did not tick all of the time and it was possible for them to make a short video without ticking.
You should check out her YouTube, Stardust Fiber Studio, and take note of how she doesn't have a tick in any of the videos. Maybe you'll think twice. To which she would respond, "Hey, so this is a comment I saw a lot and I wanted to clear up a few things," before explaining that the ticks didn't happen all the time and that it was possible for her to make short videos without any involuntary outbursts.
And so the controversy died down for a time. However, that didn't stop the people from continuing their search, which led them to eventually finding crystal clear evidence that Emerald was in fact a fraud. You see, alongside her alternate TikTok account named Stardust Pagan Priory, Emerald also ran a YouTube channel by the same name, and while searching this channel, fans managed to find a 4-minute and another full 11 minutes long video where she was able to talk completely tick-free.
Welcome to Stardust Fiber Studio. I'm Rebecca. And I'm Emerald. And today, we're going to be unboxing 76 pounds of yarn. 76.
Compared to the videos on Emerald's Ticks and Roses account, where they would tick every 5 to 6 seconds, it became extremely obvious that they were putting on an act. And if that wasn't bad enough, someone on the same thread even managed to find a full 1 hour-long podcast that they'd been on to promote their yarn dyeing business. And in a surprise to no one at that point, Emerald didn't even tick once during this entire recording.
Which is and have been for many, many years. I myself was raised pagan from birth. Yes, you can buy yarn anywhere, but you don't know the intention that was put into it. Being able to dye yarn with intention, especially like our Greek god series we did, all of those were acts of devotion.
Also, remember,
It's so weird seeing an Internet Anarchist's face. I just want to randomly point that out. The amount of videos I've seen this man upload, it is weird to see his face on my screen. When did he start doing it? I think I actually pointed it out like a few months back when he actually started doing it. Or was it like a couple months back? I think it was before my hiatus. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, when it comes down to, again, this type of content, if you're gonna just make content that you feel is best for you, Do what you like to do, bro. I like to talk about basketball, so I do. I like to talk about politics, so I do. I like to talk about random drama that I find interesting or stupid brain rot bullshit, so I talk about it. Just do that. It may be a slower grind. Just stay consistent. And if you blow up, you do. But if you don't, that's fine. Treat it like a hobby. People do puzzles all day, and they don't get nothing for it. People play I play basketball. I'm trying to play more basketball, but my friends hate me. Anyway, I play basketball, okay? I don't get money for that. That's like a couple hours out of my day, all right? I play video games. I don't get money for that. That's like a couple hours out of my day, okay? I watch movies. Me and my wife love movies. We have an AMC Stubs membership, okay? We go see a movie every week. Now, funny enough, I don't think there were any, like, decent movies last week, so there's that. But we go see a movie every single week, okay? So when it comes down to that, though, that's like 3, 4, 5 hours out of our day that we're not getting anything for. Do this as a hobby. The problem with people is they feel like if they don't, they feel sketchpad. The problem with people when it comes to this content shit, right, is people feel like if they make content and they automatically don't see an upward trend like this, they're a failure. But one thing they fail to recognize is that this is a hobby. A lot of people see it as a job because you have the big time streamers that are making a lot of money, but they forget it's a hobby. Just like people make money off of basketball, just like people make money off of watching movies. Funny enough, they can be critics. People make money off of a lot of shit, okay, that are hobbies, but people forget that streaming is a hobby. All right? Streaming can be a job, but streaming is a hobby. But people don't want to treat it like a hobby. So they want the money up front, and they feel like if it's 6 months down the line and they only got 200 subscribers, they're a failure. But you shouldn't be doing streaming because you want money. The end goal should be like, okay, I gotta get some money out of this. That's kind of where I'm sitting. When it comes to this streaming shit, my end goal is to hopefully, maybe, be able to get monetary, be able to make this monetary, okay? They feel Sketchpad. Yes, Sketchpad helps me with everything. It's able to get a monetary value out of my fucking lives. That's my end goal. And maybe I get there. But if I don't get there, that's fine. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, okay? I literally had to take a month hiatus from my hobby because I see this as a hobby. I understand taking a month away from streaming is probably damn near killing your channel. But again, I don't see it that way because I would like to make money. But I see it as a fun hobby, okay? If I got time for it, I put the work in. And I put the time into my hobby that I enjoy. If I don't have time for it, it's got to go on the back burner. Which is why I had to take a month off from uploading stuff and going live. Because I had a lot of stuff that went down with family. A lot of work I had to put in. A lot of shit that was going on. Had to go on the back burner for like a month and a half. Streaming is a hobby. If you only have 20 subscribers, 50 subscribers, 200 subscribers, that's better than 0. Build your audience slowly. And if you get to the mountaintop, bet. But if you never get there, that's fine. But you should be doing this because you like it. You shouldn't be doing it for a quick buck. Because if you do that, people are going to point it out immediately. All right? People will be fine with hate. They'll be fine with lies. But what people will not be okay with is you being disingenuous when you're doing it, okay? You're gonna do some shit, do it from the heart.
Remember the controversial nursery rhymes video earlier where Emerald seemed to tick during every sentence? Well, they also managed to unearth another video of Emerald reciting poetry, only this time she didn't even tick once during this more than 2 minutes long video.
When I catch you staring through the window, I want to pour the contents of your mind into a glass and drink you in. I want to hear your voice in my heartbeat.
But once again, despite all this evidence, there was still a chance that Emerald would be able to explain all these videos away by stating that their tics weren't that bad in the past, so they could keep them under control for an extended period of time. So people continued digging, and eventually managed to find a piece of evidence that finally had them dead to rights. In this Reddit post titled "A Collection of Proof and Information About Tix and Rose's Claims," that found a couple of videos posted just minutes apart from each other. One was posted on the Tix and Roses account, and the other on her alternate Stardust Page and Prairie TikTok account. And as you might have guessed already, in the Ticks and Roses video, Emerald was seen ticking uncontrollably, while in the video on her alternate account, they were completely tick-free.
Tonight the moon is in its first quarter phase. This is an interesting time for looking at things like self-growth and decisions that you need to make.
However, just when it seemed like the people had them cornered, the same subreddit managed to uncover a video that actually worked in Emerald's favor. This was from May 2019, 2 years before Emerald started becoming popular on TikTok, showing Emerald confessing that they had Huntington's disease.
My name is Emerald, and I have Huntington's disease. It affects all aspects of a person's life. It causes movement disorders, such as involuntary jerking, impaired gait and balance, and difficulty with speech and swallowing.
Now, since this video was uploaded way before Emerald had any major following on social media,
then why didn't you just go off of that? If you wanted to make awareness to people with your Huntington's disease, why not just do that? See, this is what I'm talking about. She didn't even need to lie about having Tourette's if she really cared, but she didn't. She wanted the money. We all want money. Everybody wants money. I want money, you want money, we want the money. Just don't sell your soul to get the money, because you're either going to lose the money, okay? Or you're going to lose any chance to make more money. Money. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Don't get a quick bag and screw over a chance to lose all the bags in the future. You want all the bags. You want all the money. But don't fuck yourself.
People found it difficult to write off as fake, especially because of how genuinely emotional Emerald seemed towards the end of the video.
I still fear for my loved ones and the effect that my decline will someday have on them. But I am choosing not to let this disease have me before it's time. I am choosing to live. So yes, I have Huntington's disease, but Huntington's disease doesn't have me. Thank you.
Bars, see? See? Spitting bars. You could have spent time spitting bars, making awareness to this shit, and growing a large audience. Don't you see that? You could have grown such a big audience of people that would have supported you based off your honesty. But instead, it's like, let's be quirky, let's be funny, and let's build an audience faster, okay? Because it's going to make me money faster. It's going to give me attention faster by lying. And now, you got nothing.
And since the early symptoms of Huntington's can often present themselves as symptoms of Tourette's, some members of the subreddit started doubting themselves for calling Emerald a liar. In his video, SunnyV2 also pointed out how this sentiment was further reinforced when the Redditors uncovered a GoFundMe-style fundraiser, asking people to donate so Emerald could get their Huntington's treated.
Reddit users found an old Huntington's disease fundraiser from October 2014 hosted by Emerald, which stated Huntington's disease is something that affects my entire family. My grandfather was diagnosed and shortly after my mother as well. I'm doing this walk for my grandfather, for my mother, and for those in my family that have the potential for having this disease as well.
So, for the time being, the backlash died down and people started wondering if they were being a bit too harsh with Emerald, but it wasn't long before they started finding inconsistencies with the Huntington's diagnosis as well. You see, to be diagnosed with Tourette's, you can't have any symptoms due to another medical condition, especially Huntington's, which meant that even if their Huntington's diagnosis was true, they had still falsely claimed to be diagnosed with Tourette's, and that ended up opening the floodgates once again, with several of their followers calling Emerald out on TikTok once again. But instead of finally coming clean, Emerald decided to double down on their claims in an act of desperation, something that eventually ended up backfiring horribly. This time, they came out with another TikTok showing a doctor's report they had received from their latest outpatient consultation, just to prove that they really had Tourette's.
So I know you've all probably seen the chaos happening on my channel, so I wanted to show a little bit of my last outpatient consultation. So I did do some redactions for, personal safety reasons. So make sure you guys can see that.
At a first glance, this report looked quite legitimate, leading most of their critics to back off for a time being. However, once again, it didn't take long for Sunny himself and the people on r/Ticks and Roses subreddit to find several inconsistencies in the report, like how some diagnoses for PTSD were mentioned twice, and
oh. Shit, I didn't catch that. Damn, okay.
How for some reason their doctor had thought it very important to specifically mention that Emerald was a quote very pleasant 27-year-old left-handed lady in the
Yeah, that doesn't sound legitimate. That's like my doctor, like, listen, very pleasant 27-year-old left-handed lady. Okay? Why would your doctor write this? That's like my doctor being like, very chill, big dick, large, amazing man. Just because it's true does not mean he should be writing it on paper because it has nothing to do with your diagnosis.
personal history section. A Redditor even mentioned a more basic problem with the diagnosis themselves, by pointing out another rookie mistake the so-called doctor had made in a comment that read, OCD with anxiety disorder is just flat out wrong. OCD is an anxiety disorder, and an anxiety disorder is not a diagnosis. It is a family of diagnoses. You would have to say generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, or unspecified or something. This is not how anyone would code or write this. But in the end, it was Sunny V2 who had pointed out the biggest mistake Emerald had made. It all started with him finding a harmless looking comment on that same TikTok, with one of their followers asking them if they went to the same hospital as they did.
Hey, no hate, just curious. I went to Virginia Mason in Seattle a few weeks ago, and my paperwork had a different logo on it. Did you go to a different one?
This prompted Sunny to actually pay closer attention to the logo on the form itself, which in turn led to him discovering that the official Virginia Mason logo had a small TM next to it, something that was missing from the logo on Emerald's report. So after a bit of digging, he found that the logo on Emerald's report was actually the first transparent background logo you could find on Google.
Ah, damn. Ah, shit. Why not just look up? Again, not saying to be a con man. I'm just saying, why not just look it up? Right? Look up like a paper. Virginia Mason Medical Center. Like a paper? Virginia Mason. I don't know. What would I even type in? Paperwork. I guess I would type in paperwork. Would something come up? Requesting medical records. I guess not much. Images? Oh, so paperwork does come up. Okay, so let's see. So I can kind of see it. It's not letting me zoom in because they suck. But I can definitely see like the little TM up there. It's not many examples here. There's a little TM right here too. Yeah, I literally just looked this up. Listen, again, I'm not saying be a con man. I'm just saying if you're gonna be one, you gotta cover your bases at least, dude. Like when you type this in, you can see the little TM after the N. Like, it's not that hard. Damn, girl. Don't scam. But damn, if you're gonna do it, be good at it. Goddamn.
Proving that Emerald had most likely typed up the document themselves. For the Redditors, however, the inconsistent and outright weird language in the report, coupled with Emerald's history, was enough to declare the report fake, with one Redditor actually posting the TikTok on the subreddit with the sarcastic title, "She has a color printer, I'm super convinced," which actually raises an even bigger concern about the consequences Emerald's desperate stunt could have. Specifically, how reluctant it might make the internet when it comes to accepting someone else's diagnosis, even if they aren't actually lying like Emerald was. But of course, Emerald never cared about that. They didn't even have the decency to come clean after their document was outed as fake. All they did was delete their doctor's report video and continue posting as usual. Fortunately, the truth did eventually come out about them, and that too from the person they'd least expect, their sister. Noticing the rising popularity of the Ticks and Roses subreddit, Emerald's sister decided to share her story under the username Jade401, with a post titled, "Introducing Myself and the Truth," that read, "Hi everyone, I'm Emerald's sister, and we grew up together. My mother and I have always been supportive of Emerald, and miss them dearly. We have always accepted them, they cut communication with us, we have tried to reach out, but they no longer wish to have contact with us, and we haven't talked in years." She then went on to confirm that her family had struggled with Huntington's, especially her mother and grandfather. And although she did confirm that Emerald had tested positive for Huntington's, she completely denied their Tourette's diagnosis, stating, "I don't believe Emerald has Tourette's syndrome."
This is sad. The reason this is sad is because your sister probably didn't want to blast you on the internet. No one really wants to do that cares about you. The internet's a crazy place, okay? Even when we really break it down, like, this is bad, and I'm not defending her, but she lied about a diagnosis for attention, and she probably got a lot of fucking hate for it. So, of course, no sibling, friend, they don't want to come on the internet and call you a liar because they know how that can look and they know what it can do. But when you sit there, you cut contact and you're making shit up, you're kind of forcing their hand. And again, if you're making stuff up on the internet about anything, it's harder for people to believe the truth behind it. You know, we see this with assault cases, right? When it comes to women, like, if you have a person that makes something up, I'm not saying it's right, nor am I saying it's okay. That's just the reality of the world we live in. If you have someone that makes it up and lies about it, it's going to lead a bunch of people to be very weary. Like, how many times have you guys heard Amber Heard, Amber Heard, Amber Heard? With everything, right? Because All it takes is like one person for people to feel justified to be discriminatory or to be rude against people who may actually have their stories that are true, who may have actually been hurt, who may have actually gone through some shit. But now it's like you come out, you're looking for attention, you're looking for money, you're looking for whatever, and you're hurting people who actually have this shit. You know, maybe they want to make shit aware about it. Maybe it's hard for them to get. I couldn't imagine having a tic where it's involuntary, like every few seconds like that. I couldn't do my job. I could not do my job. I'm not even sure if I'd be able to go live stream or react. Because obviously I gotta be quiet at least when he's talking. I yap a lot, okay? I talk a lot. But I gotta be quiet when the video's going. Would I mute myself every time? I don't even know if I could live stream. I can imagine how hard it can be. So you're taking an opportunity of somebody being like, look, I think this is like a serious disease. And I would like people to see my daily life. And maybe I can make something out of it, even if it's a little monetary. But I want people to see like how difficult this can be. And maybe get some awareness. And maybe get some help in this area. As far as this can go. But now people are going to be wary and less trustful because you want to come on here and just get the attention, and that's wrong and it's fucked up.
And they never showed any symptoms as a child. They are mentally ill though. I love my sister, always will, and wish them the best, but I don't agree with what they have done. It's incredibly disrespectful to fake a mental illness for any reason. I'm extending my sincerest apology to everyone their actions have hurt. She also mentioned that she was open to any questions as long as they weren't disrespectful, to which a Redditor asked, do you know why Emerald might have fabricated all of this? Did they have a tendency to want attention regardless of it being good or bad? And she responded with, yes, they do have a history of fabricating stories or stretching the truth, so to speak. These revelations pushed Emerald's reputation past the point of no return, because if your own family is calling you a liar, there's not much you can say to make people believe you. However, surprisingly, Emerald still tried in a yap session that boiled down to them dismissing everything their sister had said, and crying about how all these quote-unquote lies have ruined their life, before announcing that they were going to delete all Tourette's-related content from the internet. Surprisingly, Emerald stayed true to their word, and ended up deleting their Tics and Roses TikTok account entirely. However, most of the internet still wasn't satisfied with the way Emerald had left, because they never actually admitted to faking Tourette's, and instead claimed that they had to leave because of the hate.
Okay, here's where I'm gonna side with her a little bit. This is where the internet can get a little out of control. The main thing is done, okay? When people are caught and they're clearly in the wrong, it is very difficult for somebody to admit that. Maybe in her heart she thinks that. Maybe she admitted it to family. Maybe she's growing, or maybe she's not growing at all. Maybe she doesn't feel sorry whatsoever. Whatever the case may be, the harm is done. Okay, so everybody that's like trying to attack her and try to force an apology, that's a bit much. She deleted the account. She's not making content anymore. That's what matters. Did she leave in a little pissy way? Sure. Did she not admit to the fact that she was lying? Sure. But she doesn't have to owe any one type of apology. The only reason she would have to give an apology or anything like that is if she wanted to continue to make content. But if she's like, fuck it, I'm done, I'm leaving, I'm cutting it, and she deletes her channels, all right, and she's done, I think people need to leave her alone at that point, okay? Because now you're being a little ridiculous, okay? Again, not siding with her. I'm not saying she's right. What I'm saying is, if she left, she's not harming anyone anymore. She's not lying about this shit anymore. I think it's time to let it go. She's gone. Boogeyman's out of here. Let's leave her alone. Let's stop.
On top of that, they were still posting consistently on their alternate Stardust Pagan Priory business.
And I just sat here and defended her for like 2 minutes just for her to say, fuck you, actually, you're a dumbass for even having a little bit of charity. I know now, moving forward, I will not have charity for people that lie. Thanks. Fucking, oh my god. Like, 1 minute. Not even a few seconds after I fucking pause it just for, she's still fucking posting. I can't, oh my god, bro. I can't even defend somebody even a little bit. That's crazy. That's great. No, it's cool. It's cool. Let's keep going.
Accounts on both YouTube and TikTok.
Hello and happy Pride to all of our pagans and witches that are in the community.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the terminology used, seeing as I myself am non-binary.
Eventually, the backlash became too much for Emerald to bear, forcing them to disappear from there as well. However, even in their final video, they refused to take any accountability.
I was not planning to address this anymore because addressing it has not fixed it. I was literally bullied off the internet. So I do not do awareness for Tourette's anymore, regardless of the fact that I do have a clinical diagnosis. So I'm spending my time on my yarn business and on my religious group, and I just want to live my life, and yeah.
But fortunately, that would be the last time the internet would have to see them, since they haven't shown their face in a video ever since. That said, even in the aftermath of Sunny V2's video, which had managed to make a huge mainstream audience aware of Emerald's fraud, they still continued posting on their Stardust Fiber Studio page on Instagram. But that didn't last long either, because Sunny V2's video soon got the attention of another YouTuber, Daps, who actually did suffer from Tourette's. Daps ended up making a video on the topic as well, titled "Guy with Real Tourette's Reacts to TikToker Faking Tourette's," breaking down why most of Emerald's tics seemed fake.
Oh god! Moving on. Send me to Canada!
Not only did he call out how unrealistic these tics looked, but also pointed out how Emerald would often find their tics unnaturally funny.
Alright, so the first thing I noticed is, yeah, this does scream very fake. A lot of the, like, putting the hat in your head, like, I want to go to Canada, that doesn't happen. Also, another thing is, if this were happening to me, and, like, I were having such severe tics while trying to package something, I would not be happy like she is. I would be pissed the fuck off.
Surprisingly, Daps's video ended up going even more viral than Sunny's did, garnering over 34 million views, which ended up in Emerald finally deleting all their Stardust Fiber Studio social media accounts, and effectively destroyed any possibility of them ever returning to the world of content creation ever again.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what I was trying to say, sitting there trying to fucking defend her. That's what I was trying to say, bro. Like, listen, at the end of the day... At the end of the day, you have to apologize and admit fault if you want to continue to make content. You've been caught red-handed. Apologize, admit fault, and try making other content, build an audience, and move on. I don't think people should keep trying to rip you. There's probably going to be people that still try to rip you. Just ignore them, okay? You do understand the biggest thing about people that hate you on the internet, they do it because they understand that it's going to set you off. I went to, when I was younger, right, we moved from a very predominantly black and Hispanic school to a very predominantly white school. And one thing I got in trouble with a lot is there was a lot of racist jokes thrown my way. There was a lot of shit said to me. And that sucked, right? I got in fights, I got suspended, and I was on the verge of expulsion, but one thing, you know, my dad did not teach me this because he was always telling me fight, fight, fight. But my mom, funny enough, taught me this. She said, you can't fight the world. You will lose. That was the biggest thing she told me, you know? And I was like, okay, fair enough. I cannot sit here every single time and get in a fight and expect to walk out of it intact, whether it's physically, emotionally, or, you know, staying in a damn school. So I just started ignoring them. And then after like a couple weeks, I still had like one or two people try to run up to me and say some shit, but they noticed it wasn't bothering me, so they gave up. If you want to make content, just keep in mind, you're probably going to get hate from everyone, from everywhere. I get hate, and I'm small time. I'm small fry, and I still get hate. But you can't, that's the reason I don't respond to comments, especially hate ones, because they're never anything of substance. All they want to do is go back and forth with me about how I'm a dumb, idiot, fat man or something. Just don't feed into it. Apologize, move on, make your content, don't feed into the hate, and try to be better than you were before. But if you want to make content, you got to start with that. You can't act like nothing happened, because then people are going to see, again, you're disingenuous. People don't like following people like that. People like following people that are genuine. Show people you're genuine. Show people you made a mistake, because no one's perfect. Show people you lied. And now be genuine. But she wanted to skip that step, the minute step, and go straight to the content making, and that wasn't going to work.
That said, even though they themselves are gone, their impact on the internet unfortunately remains, often resulting in other YouTubers diagnosed with Tourette's getting hate for quote faking it, like Ticks and Roses, like Ticking Together, who has had to prove she has Tourette's several times since the Ticks and Roses news came out.
Hi, I'm Carly, and I have Tourette syndrome. I am not a fraud, but because of those lovely few people out there who have fake Tourette's, on every single one of my videos, I get a bunch of freaking hate. And all I'm trying to do is raise awareness and break the stigma that surrounds this awfully misunderstood disorder. But on almost, like a race, but on almost every one of my videos, I get a comment saying, fake, this doesn't seem real. Or the worst ones are, I don't know who to believe now that I've seen Ticks and Roses.
And has even been confused with Emerald.
I have been mistaken or kind of called Ticks and Roses 2 times in my personal life in public, which is crazy to me. The first instance was when I was at work about a year ago. I was working at the cash register and a girl comes up to me and she's like, do I know you? And I was like, I'm not sure, like, did we go to the same high school? Like, maybe we met somewhere. And she's like, no, wait, you're Ticks and Roses. And I was like, no.
Which is quite tragic considering how misunderstood Tourette's already is and the stigma surrounding it. And unfortunately, it looks like none of the people with actual Tourette's who got hurt by Ticks and Roses' fraudulent portrayal of the disorder will ever get any closure, since they never even apologized for their actions and instead tried to gaslight everyone on their way out. The only silver lining in this whole citation is that the internet will most likely never have to see or hear from them ever again, kind of like Only Jayus, who also tried to use her alleged mental illnesses as an excuse for bad behavior. Click the video on screen to find out more.
Okay. That wasn't a bad video. I liked it. Good shit. Good shit, y'all. Oi.